This is Kugan Cassius for iFLTV. Ed, my voice has gone a bit.
Yeah, what's happened?
I don't know, I got it a few months ago and I've got it again. Just the voice has gone, be under the weather, but we're here. Well, I'm
How's
here.
cold England?
I don't know where the fuck you are, but it looks good. Wherever you
Somewhere
are.
deep in the Caribbean, somewhere.
Yeah?
Yeah, mate. Just having a nice bit of recovery. Um, Early start, obviously, this year, January the 8th, first show. Bit of a brutal one in Australia. So, going to leave here. It's like 2 days to get there or something. So, I think I'll leave here on the 5th or 6th of Jan and then head over. And looking forward to a massive fight for Australian boxing. Really stumbled on a gem there with Opatai and Aika. I'd love to say, it was a tremendous piece of matchmaking by me and Spencer Brown and Mick Francis, but David Naika just stepped up with a massive set of nuts and went, I'll have it. And this was a fight that we actually envisaged happening in a year's time as a massive fight for Australian boxing. But I think now Opatai against Naika, Australia against New Zealand, looking forward to a massive fight on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it seemed like when it was announced, it was a little bit too soon, this fight happening, and fair play. But yeah, it seemed like this is one that would happen at the back end of 2025 as opposed to the start of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great timing for us. Obviously, we've got Riyadh season are back in our January the 8th card. They back the December card with Connor Wallace. Obviously, we've got an agreement with Mick Francis and Spencer Brown on Connor Wallace and Justice Honey and Jai Opataya. And then obviously recently with our signing of George Kambosos with Lou DiBella. So we're going to be quite active in Australia. We're looking to bring Kambosos to a homecoming potentially in Sydney in March. So this is a real shot in the arm for us for our project in Australia because it's a massive fight. Like Jai was supposed to be fighting Sin Cara, who was the mandatory, good fighter, but don't really mean a row of beans. All of a sudden, we've got a massive fight on the Gold Coast, big pay per view in the in Australia, big pay per view in New Zealand. The Australian numbers in general are really, really strong. Obviously, you see the Zone's recent purchase as well, Foxtel. So it's gonna be a really important market for us.
Okay, well, look, we'll talk about your upcoming schedule for the first quarter in a bit. But it's been well long, 8 days since I saw you, obviously in Saudi Arabia. Have you re-watched the fight between Tyson and Usyk?
No, I haven't. We're on a group chat with me, Turkey, and Frank Warren and Spencer Brown, and we were having a bit of banter about people crying about the scorecards and not for that actual particular fight, but basically Turkey was just taking a piss out of me as usual. And they sent me all the stuff around Bivol, and I sent them the stuff around Frank Warren saying Fury won easy. And then obviously Frank, I think, was it Talksport, his interview where he said he watched it back, he had it close, but he still had Tyson winning. I haven't watched it back. I had the fight very close. I think I scored it a draw on the night. I mean, I'm not sitting there with a bit of paper, but you know that after 6 rounds, I had it 3-3 after 6 rounds. I gave Usyk, I think, the last, but I gave Fury 11. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like most people believe that Oleksandr Usyk won the fight in a good competitive fight. A lot of people actually scored it 8-4 to Usyk. I didn't personally. Um, but maybe if I watch it back, maybe I'll think Usyk edged the fight. But on the night, just my opinion, I've got no horse in the race. It's like there's no agenda for me. I'm just telling you what I saw and felt at ringside, which was a very close fight.
Well, I mean, I think you mentioned this afterwards. Was it you that said so basically after like round six or anything, no judge gave Fury a round? Is that
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, again, I'll have to watch it back, but I can't remember if it was like 9, 10, 11. But I thought he actually had a decent spell. I thought Usyk won the last. The only thing I will say is like the activity of Alexander Usyk. And the other thing is a lot of people watch Usyk and they go, "Oh, I could beat him." Oh, he doesn't really do anything special. And then when you get in there with him, he's a phenomenal fighter, and
Who
he's
says that,
beaten
by the way?
people. I think people look at him and think, You can walk him down. You can beat him up. He's soft to the body. He doesn't punch that hard. You know, like, I don't think people have this fear of getting in there with him. A lot of the heavyweights are like, obviously, Fury thought he could beat him. We thought we could beat him, and AJ thought we could beat him. We thought we could beat him in a rematch. Fury thought he could beat him in a rematch. Bellew thought he could beat him. I'm sure Dubois felt like they could walk him down and beat him, and no one does it. So what you're watching, I've seen, like, Twitter is such a wild place, and you start seeing all the kind of arguments about his legacy and is he an all-time great and blah blah blah. But come on, yes, of course he's an all-time great. He went to pretty much everyone's backyard to unify and win championships in the cruiserweight division to become undisputed. He stepped up to heavyweight. He's beaten Fury, AJ, Dubois. Right? They're the three number one heavyweights, the three top heavyweights in the world. He's beaten them all.
He's got doubles over two of them.
Yeah. I mean, it's phenomenal what he's done. And he's doing it with a massive size disadvantage. We've also got to remember he was giving up, what, 50 pounds in that fight? 50 pounds. You're talking about a featherweight fighting a light heavyweight in terms of weight disparity. Like, it's phenomenal what he's done. And he's a phenomenal fighter. He's an all-time great. I think we just give him his flowers. And what's he going to do now? I mean, the only fight that I see, I mean, I love Opetaia against Usyk. I just think it's such a good style matchup. You know, but Jai's got to earn his stripes as well for that fight. He's got to win next week, and then he's got to probably unify against Ramirez. And then when he steps up, or, you know, he's going to be able to compete weight-wise. It's a great fight, but he's got to continue to build his profile. But I don't see a lot of fights that genuinely excite me for Usyk. He's done it all.
Has he completed heavyweight boxing in this
I
era?
think so.
Yeah.
Who else is there to beat?
Dubois rematch.
I mean, he could, yeah, but he could go and do the double over Dubois. Then he's done the double over Dubois, Usyk, Fury and AJ. Like, there's other great heavyweights out there, but I just don't. It's difficult because you know that, you know, if there's another 15, 20, 30 mil to get back in the ring and beat someone, it's very tempting not to do it.
Let me ask you
Tempting
a
to do
question.
it, you know.
Let me ask you a question. Who do you think has got a better chance of beating Usyk in a trilogy out of AJ and Fury?
Well, you're asking a very biased man.
No, but be honest, based
I
on
don't know. I mean, look, right now you'd have to say Usyk's a massive favourite over both of them in a trilogy.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
Is
we were well off the pace. We were well off the pace in the first fight, and second fight we had a real good go. And after 9 rounds, I thought, we're going to do it. We're going to win this fight. And then Usyk just that was probably the best championship performance I've ever seen. Championship round performance, 10, 11, 12 of Usyk against AJ. I thought he was done, and he just somehow turned up the heat, and he threw so many punches, and he stuck it on AJ when he was hurt, when he was tired, and he won those last 3 rounds to win the fight. So I'm not sure anyone can beat him, if I'm honest. But I think Opetaia's style, I think it's a great fight.
So you're saying that basically he's got to come out of the division?
No, he can come, like, you could do that fight heavyweight. I mean, he's not a massive heavyweight, so I don't think it's going to be a problem for Jai. But you've got to build, you know, you have to build yourself into a big fight for Usyk. And like, what is the big fight? I mean, I'm not 100% convinced, if I'm honest, that Dubois beats Parker. And, you know, when you start overlooking someone like Joe Parker, like they're clearly doing, and thinking about other fights and Usyk and this and that, it becomes dangerous. So, like, Parker against Usyk, you know, these listen, they're all good fights, but does it motivate the man? Because the man's done it all.
Yeah. What did you make of Dubois' appearance in the
Look,
ring?
I think to be honest, like, you can't win, can you? People are saying Dubois needs to do more. He needs to speak up. He needs to get himself out there. And then he goes and does that, and everyone goes, "Oh, that was cringe. That was embarrassing. What's he doing?" You got to just do what you want to do. And if that's I mean, I watched it like that, but I also found it highly amusing. But you've got, for me, when you're promoting someone like Daniel Dubois, you've got to play on the fact that he's not a personality and he's not a great talker. And I think Frank's done that well over the years. You know, at the presser, go on, Daniel, tell him what are you going to do to and I'm sure he teases him up often, but that is Dubois. Dubois is not going to be a slick talking, smooth dude that goes out there and he is what he is, and that's what makes him effective as a fighter. So I didn't mind it personally. Maybe slightly the wrong time because at that point you really want to give Usyk his flowers, as I said. But listen, you got to go and do what you got to do. And if that's your way to get yourself out there and shout out the fight, good luck to you.
Do you think Dubois has got a better chance of beating Usyk than Fury or Joshua?
Maybe. I just think he's too good. Usyk. Look, Dubois can punch. He's obviously full of confidence at the moment. Don't see him beating Usyk.
What did AJ say about Fury's loss?
Honestly, not really discussed it with him. We've had a couple of messages, but might have had one on the night. I think he felt that Usyk won the fight, and I guess it's it's probably quite sort of soothing, if you like, for AJ to know that Fury couldn't beat him either, because obviously it's unbelievably frustrating, and that's you saw Fury leave the ring straight after the fight, and what that is. It's like I really believed I was going to beat him. We trained so hard. Why? Why can't we beat him? That's the feeling of getting beat by Usyk. And like I said earlier, it's not like you're in with this devastating brute who it's just I can't figure him out. Why? And that was exactly what I saw from Fury straight after the fight. That was it's just pure frustration. AJ left the ring straight after that fight as well, but he actually come back. Probably best he just would have kept going. But, came back to kind of give him his respect. And it's just incredibly frustrating against this guy because Fury put all the work in. He believed he was going to win. AJ put all the work in. They believed they were going to win and they couldn't do it.
Yeah, I thought that after Joshua's outburst, it was more a case of I've done everything and I still can't beat this fucker.
Basically. Yeah.
Like,
That's all it was.
yeah,
How? Why?
yeah.
What is it you do? I mean, he actually said to him in the ring, what is it? What? Tell me. I want it. I want to know. How do I get it? And it's just a natural, God-given talent of excellence. That's what Oleksandr Usyk is.
Right, let's jump to it. Now this fight's over, dust is settling. AJ Fury, where are we with it, Ed?
I mean, the answer is nowhere because it's obviously a week after the fight. But I don't see, for us, there's only really two fights that we're interested in. Daniel Dubois rematch, Tyson Fury.
As
I
in
think,
next.
yeah, next. I mean, he wants to become, or he'd love another chance to become world heavyweight champion, obviously, and that only comes because Fury lost to Dubois. So now the Fury fight is there. We appreciate it might not be as big as it could have been, but it's still the biggest fight in boxing.
Yeah, I agree.
And but I say this, and you're going to get people who watch this going, "Oh, tell me a bigger fight in boxing." It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
AJ Fury is the biggest fight in the sport of boxing. So once the dust settles, I guess it's up to me and Frank and Spencer to say, guys, what are you thinking? Right now, I doubt Fury's thinking about fighting again or fighting AJ, just thinking, he's still pissed off and he'll go away and spend time with his family. But after that, if he wants to fight again, what other? But I mentioned two names for us. Tell me two names for Tyson Fury. It's only one. For me, Fury fights AJ, or I don't know who else he'd want to fight.
Fury would probably say that he'd have another crack at Usyk.
No, but there's no demand for the third fight. There's not, His Excellency is not looking to make that fight. I think, people will try, and I've seen it in the media for various people with agendas, to dampen the fire or the size of AJ against Fury. We all know those two come together,
Yeah, I
and it
agree.
is just a monster, a monster. But I don't think it's the time to start calling it out. I just think common sense, hopefully, will prevail. We're all getting on. We're all talking. We all want to make great fights and do good business. So hopefully you'll see that. But if not, and if Dubois comes through Parker, we'd like the rematch. And if Parker wins, we'd love to fight him as well. So, I think the priority is always the World Heavyweight Championship. But of course, the Fury fight is a monster.
When do you see Joshua returning? What?
May, June. Yeah. I mean, he's not in full training yet. He's probably ready to resume training in January. But at the moment, obviously, you got the Dubois fight February 22nd, and you got to see what Fury wants to do. So we're not in a tearing rush. AJ will fight twice in 2025. So once in the summer, once in the winter.
Are you ruling out a possible in between fight?
No,
Like
but
ahead of Dubois or Fury, could he fight May against whoever?
who knows? Look, if we can't make the Dubois fight, and if Fury don't want to fight, then you have to make a decision to fight somebody, or do you wait for those fights? I don't know. I mean, it's not. I can't speak on behalf of AJ in the sense of what he wants, who he's prepared to fight. But what I know is the focus is Daniel Dubois or Tyson Fury. That's, of course, he's done it all. And, if he gets Fury on the resume, he's boxed virtually absolutely everybody of his era. So, and, it's a tough fight. It's a 50-50 fight, but run it twice and see where we are at the end of it.
Does it matter? There's no world title on the line for that. No.
I mean, we live and work in a bubble, don't we, of boxing? No one, like, I get stopped, even at the airport coming out here, it's like, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? It's like, well, AJ lost to Dubois and Fury just lost to Usyk. Oh, I don't care. When are you going to get them two in the ring? So, like, the two biggest fights in British boxing, Eubank Ben, Fury AJ, by a mile. Nothing even comes close.
Um, Arguably on par or not far off talking point from last Saturday week was Dave Allen and Johnny Fisher,
Yeah.
which yeah, I mean, have you rewatched that? I'm assuming you haven't.
I honestly haven't rewatched. The only thing that I've watched is the seventh round because I know exactly what I saw on the night. So, and I'm always straight up on this, right? And I've had so many arguments with people at the arena that night, at petrol state. Like, everyone's talking about that fight, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
So we'll come on to whether it happens again and blah blah blah. But Johnny Fisher won the first four rounds, unquestionably. Right, it wasn't even close. He also won the 10th. I don't think there's really any argument on that. Now, at the time, that is how I scored it. And with the 10-8 round, it's 95-94 to Dave Allen. The only round that could have been a swing round is 7. So if you think he lost the 7th round, Johnny, then it's 95-94 to Dave Allen. He wins by 1 point. If you think Johnny Fisher won that round, the 7th, then it's 95-94 Johnny Fisher. Being honest, hand on heart, when I got in the ring, I thought, hopefully we can nick a draw. But I felt Dave Allen won the fight 95-94. I haven't watched the 7th round in full. I saw Johnny Fisher's interview with Gareth A. Davis. So I want to see that 7th round again. But my gut feeling is hopefully we get a draw. I think he was fortunate to win the fight. But at the same time, he perforated his eardrum in the 3rd round. What he showed was unbelievable heart, could hardly stand up and never quit. And it was a phenomenal fight. I mean, it was just a little bit of a shame that it was on so early. I mean, you imagine that fight at the Copper Box or the O2, just absolute scenes. And now we've got to look at if it's the right thing to do it again. And if we do, it's a massive fight. So it's definitely something we need to talk about.
What did you think of Big John's comments towards Gareth A. Davies, who on
I
air
think,
robbery and disgusting and
look,
all this?
I think two things. Number one, is his dad, right? They've never experienced anything like this before. All of a sudden, people turn on you, people switch on you. You know, you've gone from being like adored and to you're a disgrace. You're like your son has just put say his life, but his health on the line to battle through in an epic war where he showed unbelievable heart, and you're now criticizing him. That's the feeling of a father, right? So it's very personal in that situation. I thought Spencer, Oliver, and Gareth, whoever it was, I think they went well OTT. I've got to be honest with you. Like, robbery. Like, this fight is actually quite simple to score. The likely score line is 95-94 to Dave Allen. How's that a robbery? It's 1 point. What the problem is, it was quite an easy fight to score. It's only really that seventh round that I've got to watch back because I saw Johnny. But it can't be any more than 95-94 to Dave Allen. So how can you sit there and say this is a disgusting robbery when it's 95-94? Right? Granted, the other rounds, right? 5, obviously, the 10-8 round, 6, 8, 9. They were Dave Allen rounds, as was 1 to 4, as was 10. It wasn't that difficult to score. It's only really the 7th. But like to sit there and scream and shout for a 95-94 scorecard going the other way. Sometimes you watch a round or you watch a guy for 2 or 3 rounds out on his feet. You've got to score the individual rounds of a fight. That's what you've got to do. And, you know, I just think they went a bit OTT. Like, it wasn't like a one-sided fight. Johnny Fisher won at least 5 rounds. That's half the rounds of the fight. But unfortunately, he got knocked down.
Let me ask you a question. Out of everyone watching the fight, say, for example, there's 1,000 people watching the fight. How many people are scoring it round for round, do you think, percentage-wise, are
No,
scoring it?
no, no. Like, what, I
Who's
don't know,
scoring it?
5%. You've got to be a bit of an anorak, haven't you, to write down the
Right.
scores of every round,
But if you're
right?
not scoring it round by round, then you
But
can't.
that's the problem. So I had one of the guys who works with True Geordie. Like, as I was walking out the ring, out the venue, he went, "Oh, that's a disgrace. The Fisher fight. That was, he won that easy." I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" I said, "Let me just have a conversation with you." I said, "Did Johnny Fisher win the first 4 rounds?" Well, yeah, yeah, but what about the 5th? And what? I said, "Yeah, yeah, okay." And he won the 10th. There's not really any doubt about that. So he won 5 rounds. Well, no, he did. I said, "But you just said he won the first 4, and you would have given it."
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, "Well, that's 5 rounds." I said, "Yeah, but he was out of it. He was out of it." I said, I know he was out of it, but you can only score around 10-9 unless there's a knockdown. So again, like the arguments, it's not invalid, but at this point, it's done. And you're never going to, there's people in their head that think that was a robbery. And I do think Dave Allen was unlucky not to get a decision. Was it a robbery? Absolutely not. But did more people think that Dave Allen won than Johnny Fisher? Absolutely.
But Eddie, in 10 rounds of boxing, the majority of people watching that, if they're not scoring it like round by round, the knockdown is
Yeah, and seeing him out on his feet, of course,
this is
and
why
that can
you
turn a
know.
fight. But yeah, but I'm not saying they should have given the Johnny Fisher the decision. I'm just saying it was a very close fight. And I've already said to you, at the end of the fight, I thought Dave Allen won 95-94. But it's just the 7th, that round. And I actually haven't even watched the 7th back. I haven't watched the fight back. But I do know the first 4 weren't competitive. And he won 10, 100%. So 5-5 in rounds with a knockdown. But, now we'll see what's next.
Right, 2 questions to wrap this up. One, will there be an immediate rematch? 2, if there isn't, will you look to do something with Dave Allen? Work with Dave Allen again on
Mm.
matchroom Riyadh season, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Dave Allen is everybody's favourite, and he got himself in shape and he put a great performance in. For Johnny, we have to, you have to look at how much did the perforated eardrum play a part in it? How much was it the experience? How much was it the ability? Like for me, I think you have to rematch Dave Allen. Now, if you don't do it next, you're going to be under pressure, but you've also got to make the right decision for his career. For me, and no disrespect to Dave, but if you're not beating Dave Allen, how far are you going up through the levels? And we were expected to beat Dave Allen, and we did, but we might not have. So it's a very dangerous rematch, but it's also a huge fight. And if it's up to me, I'm saying, yeah, if mentally we're up for this fight, we should be doing it because we should be beating Dave Allen. And I think from the experience he gained that night, which will be priceless, he will beat Dave Allen. And by the way, it'll probably definitely fill up the copper box, might fill up the O2.
I'll ask that. Does it fill out the O2?
Yeah. I mean, we nearly filled up the copper box for Babbage. This fight, everybody's talking about it. So if it fills up the O2, I mean, if it fills up copper box, they're making a nice few quid. If you do the O2, they're going to have it off. And I think with the momentum, with the controversy, with the fact that everybody loves these two blokes, I think we can do the O2. But, Johnny's going to need his 2, 3, 4 weeks off, and then we'll talk. But obviously, Dave is non-stop. And Dave, listen, good luck to Dave Allen. He had a decent payday in Saudi. He's not going to, break the bank. But now he's got the thing is for Dave, it's really the only big fight out there for him is the rematch in terms of that kind of money. But he would also come back and he could have some fights. But for Dave, I don't think Dave should be coming back having 8-rounders and to give Dave Allen a big payday and Johnny would get one too and run it back.
Let's just kind of wrap through the rest of the card. What a knockout from Salma, Moses.
Yeah.
Brilliant, wasn't it, against Dempsey McKinney?
Yeah, I really, I love Dempsey, but I didn't like the matchup for him because he's quite an upright, tall fighter. And Moses has got blistering hand speed. Great statement performance, very good fighter. And the only way we're going to find out if Moses is the real deal is when he's in with a big, strong, big punching heavyweights and it goes 5, 6, 7 rounds. I mean, like the Dave Allen fight, but at another level now because he's surpassed those levels. But that's when you get to find out. And it's difficult because he's just about to turn 20, isn't he? Or he just turned 20. And it's like, you don't want to slow him down, but you just got to be a little bit careful because all of a sudden you can be 5, 6 rounds in and he gets hurt and the engine, and it's like, wow. I mean, it's a bit like Dubois when he fought, till he fought Joyce. He was steamrolling everyone and then got a little bit tough and he got beat. But yeah. Moses is a great fighter, very talented fighter, nice young man, big future.
Good performance from Reece Edwards against Pete McGraw, last minute opponent, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, up at one, I thought that was a close fight as well. Gave it to Peter by 2 rounds, probably. Good performance, very difficult up at 130. Reece Edwards, big, much bigger than McGraw. And fair play to him and Gary Lockett. They put in a great performance, great body puncher as well. Really good fight, but big win for Peter. Coming off a tough week, really. Yeah. With McCann failing those tests, and it's good to get the win.
Question for you. Your group chat with Turkey and Spencer and Frank?
Yeah.
Who set it up?
Turkey.
Just one. I was just wondering.
It was me. I was Beggy.
Who's the admin on it? I was wondering.
Yeah, no. Shout out as well to Ishmael Davis as well.
Yeah.
Stepping in. I mean, when I got in the ring after, I went over to the corner a couple of rounds before that, and I was like, how's he feeling? I didn't want him to take any punishment in there. And I felt he could beat him, but you just kind of realise you just can't beat those levels with 2 weeks' notice for that fight, So I'm very proud of Ishmael, and all I want to get from Ishmael is a text message with a picture of the house he's bought. And I said to him, please, I don't know, what your current situation is of where you're living, but either pay your mortgage off or buy a new house ASAP and send me a fucking picture of it. And then we'll go back and we'll win British titles, Commonwealth, European, and then we'll be back at world level. But I'm so like it's a very difficult decision to take those kind of fights, you know, because it's from a career move. Everybody's situation is different. Do you know what I'm saying? So some people have come through with Olympic medals and they've got big promotional contracts, and you wouldn't be taking those fights if you were one of those.
Yeah.
But Ishmael in 2 fights, probably made close to 10 times what he would have made this year otherwise. And to go out and buy that house and be able now to rebuild and know that you've financially secured yourself in that respect, you've got your house, everything's sweet. Now you can keep building, bank those titles, buy new property, keep going. Like that's the key for a fighter, and he's got a big future ahead of him.
And finally, McGregor against Isaac. Good win for McGregor.
Yeah, good fight. I thought Isaac, showed a lot of heart in that fight as well. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the fight.
Okay. Have you been done by this fake Benson account?
Loads of times.
You have.
Loads of times.
Have you?
But how do you keep getting done by it when you know the Benson account no longer exists? I read it. He posted one this morning saying Eddie Hearn just posted this on his story and deleted it, and it was free Dirk or whatever. I don't even know what that means. Probably just mugged myself right off by even saying it. But I was like, did I? What? And I thought, oh, fuck me, it's a fake Benson account. I've actually had Bivol's manager message me because he said that Beterbiev hurt his wrist. He's like, oh my God, have you seen this? I'm like, no, that's a fake account. So, yeah, it's causing murders.
And Raphael lost the plot with it today.
I know, I saw it. Fuck off, he said.
So the fuck.
Yeah.
Right. Conor Benn, what's going on, Ed?
We're talking. I mean, I was on the phone actually to Shalom yesterday for quite a while. His Excellency a little bit, talking about what might be. I mean, look, we as I said earlier, 2 biggest fights in British boxing: Eubank, Benn, Fury, AJ. So, but we can still fight Barrios for the world title, and it's very tempting for him. But for me, if I'm Conor Benn, I'm fighting Chris Eubank Jr. because the money's just is too much, And I went back, as I said about Ishmael Davis, this is obviously on another level. In one fight, you can secure your financial future and live the most fantastic life for you and your family forever. And that always has to be the priority for any fighter. So, but he can't stand him. And if the terms aren't right for Conor Benn, he's not going to take the fight. But my advice would be to make them right and get it over the line.
What's the likely chances of Conor accepting a 45 on it?
No, it's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
No.
Is it, like, speaking to Shalom, is there any chance of this, like, leveling out to where you want it to be?
Yeah, because His Excellency might get involved and he can make it happen. I think sometimes by doing an individual fight with both guys, an individual deal with both guys, sometimes that's better because you're taking out that ego and that testosterone from the aggravation. Oh, I want to get him. I want to beat him up, smash him up. And, I think that sometimes you just got to have a level head in this situation and realise what's in front of you and what's on the table. And, I'll be speaking to Conor and Keith and Lee and everybody, Tony. And my advice is to get that fight over the line.
Is your gut feeling that we will see you back then?
It is actually.
All right, we'll leave that one there. With that.
Conor might not agree with me at the moment, but I'd like to think we get there.
I got to mention Paul Bamba, terrible. We heard that news a couple of days ago. Obviously, well known on the Misfits scene, Paul Bamba. Don't know all the kind of what happened around the situation, but tragic loss. Eddie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the man. Obviously, you see from the responses and the condolences from everyone, he was much loved, and I don't know what happened, and not really doesn't matter, does it? He passed, and you got to show him and his family the respect. So our condolences go to him and his family, and life is short and unexpected, you know. So as we say, you're here for a good time, not a long time.
Absolutely. How many pay-per-views in the UK will you do next year?
What, including Riyadh season in the UK?
No, do you know what? I'm going to make this awkward for you. Outside of Riyadh season.
Maybe, I mean, look, if Fury fights AJ, it's going to be Riyadh season. You know, Ben Eubank, I don't know, two. I think outside of Riyadh season, there's a lot of pay per views through Riyadh season. So I don't think we're obviously Eubank Ben is a pay per view, but we're not. You know, our plan is to make the schedule appealing outside of the pay per views. If we land a pay per view in addition, fantastic. But you know, it's not like I said. We're not out there going, "Oh, we need a pay per view." We need because there's a lot of them through Riyadh season.
All right. I don't know if that's answered my question, but
Two. There you go.
right. We just want to
You
see.
said how many? I said two. So
I
I think that's
know.
answered your question.
My point to it was I just want to see
You
big.
like doing this, and at the end of the year, you go, "Oh, you said back in January or December last year."
Yeah, it's your job. You're a promoter in the UK. Fucking do your
Off
job.
you.
Do your job. I love Saudi. Listen, I'm all over Saudi, but
Well, we had some big events in the UK last year, and you'll get them this year as well. So and everybody's working hard to, maintain a strong schedule in the UK. And obviously, look, February 22nd coming up. I mean, it's just the best card I've ever seen in Riyadh. So you need to build the schedule. The week before that, we've got Catterall against Barboza. Brilliant fight. You know, it's a big fight at Manchester Arena. Then March 1st, we're going to do hopefully what will be eventually a full house for Crocker Donovan, final eliminator for the
great
IBF
fight.
world
Great
title.
fight.
You know, so yeah,
Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith.
Dalton Smith, January 25th, double header that night. One in Nottingham, one in Las Vegas with
Where are you
Pacheco
going to be?
Nelson. Great, might be Vegas. It's a
All right.
big fight that is for Pacheco. You know, but Dalton's very important to us, so we'll see.
What's your highlight been of 2024? One moment.
Good question. Taylor Serrano.
Yeah. For you, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen, the AJ night was incredible. The fight, I got to say, actually, what might have been the highlight, honestly, was the 5v5.
You got bad.
And yeah, but I don't. But it was like I just loved being part of that format. And on Fight Week, it was so surreal. Do you remember like walking at Boulevard City and it was like me and Frank on all the
Yeah.
screens everywhere, and it was like the concept was so smart and it was so groundbreaking. And I don't mind if it's good for the sport and I get battered. Obviously, I would much rather have won, and it was good for the sport. But how good was it? Like I said, and you know, I I was in the sea yesterday, and I was out swimming with the kids, and I came back to my phone. It's about the only time I leave my phone is when I'm in the sea, right? And I was in there for 20 minutes, and I came up, and I had 4 missed calls from Turkey, 3 missed calls from Dr. Rakan. I thought, how's your luck? Right, 20 minutes is all it was. Anyway, as I was looking at the phone, Turkey called me again. And I picked it up and I said, hello. And he went, what are you doing? And I said, what? And he went, why are you not picking up the phone? And I was like, because I was in the bloody sea, mate. And he was like, right, we need a Zoom now. I'm like, all right, let me just dry off. I'll be back 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Like, run back to the house. And I just thought to myself, like, and I was actually speaking to someone last night out here, and he said, what's it like doing business with the Saudis? And I told them that story. And they were like, God, that's a lot. And that's like, how'd you put up with that? I said, you know what? I enjoy working with them. And don't get me wrong, if I didn't and I was still making big money, I'd suffer it. But I also, at the same time, I'm doing pretty well. I don't need to take any shit. I really like them and I really enjoy doing business with them. And we have a laugh and we give it back to them. And working with Frank and Spencer and George, and like, I genuinely enjoy it. So for me, 2024, like the coming together of,
Yeah.
like even with Shalom yesterday, I'm on the phone to Shalom and I'm like, he's saying things, and I feel like the old man. I'm like saying to him, Ben, listen to me. You've got to stop that. You've got to be more like that, and I've just become a lot more diplomatic this year. I think like there's a way to get along. And when you get along, there seems to be more opportunities.
If only you'd figured this out years ago.
Maybe. But listen, again, you're young, aren't you? You're a little bit naive. You're all gas, no brakes. It's just like, fuck I'm just gonna fucking that was me. And it got me to where I am. But I just feel like now it doesn't matter whether it's, us and Frank or Boxer or Oscar or Top Rank. There are opportunities together for the business and for our fighters and for the sport. So if we actually spend time together, see, this is what happens. When you start spending time together with these people, you actually go, look, we share a same interest. We're both sick in the head about the sport of boxing, and we're mental. We work non-stop and we all want to win. And so when you actually spend a bit of time with people, you actually get that. I hope they go, oh, actually, Eddie's all right. Actually, he's not too bad. Because I feel like hopefully most people would do that. But if it's just, a clickbait on IFL, then it's very different.
That's called gaslighting. You're trying to blame us for things you say.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Gaslighting. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. You're trying to
What's
make
that?
up.
Some kind of Instagram term that just is a load of bollocks.
You're the biggest gaslighter in boxing.
Shut up. Gaslight and narcissist. You know what narcissist means?
Go on.
You fucking done well and you're successful. And everybody says, oh, he's a narcissist. It's like, no, mate. It's the life you lead to run this kind of business and operation, and how you have to be ruthless and have the drive of a fucking strange geezer. And that's me. So,
Wait, have you got any enemies now? Who hates you? You're like best friends with Shalom. You're doing a
we're
show.
not best friends.
I mean,
Not best friends, but look, we had the same kind of thing with Turkey. We had a big meeting with all the promoters, spoke to Oscar, we chatted, and again, it was the same thing. It was like he said, "Look, maybe you two do a 5v5." Like, and it's like, yeah, once you start talking, yeah, actually, we could do that together. Actually, he's all right, and the same with Shalom. Like, I don't hate Shalom. Like, he says some silly things sometimes, but he's a young man in the sport trying to make his way. Good luck to him. I'm not out here trying to block him. Like, I want to win. I want to do better shows than Ben Shalom. I want to do better shows than Frank Warren. But the ability to pick up the phone and have those conversations is quite refreshing. So, like you said, maybe I should have done it earlier, but we're in now, aren't we? So let's get cracking for 2025.
who's your fighter of the year for 2024? You ain't got to pick one of your.
Usyk. Usyk. I mean, I know he's only fought twice and beat Fury twice, but yeah, Usyk.
What's been your biggest regret in 2024?
Don't we have any regrets? I don't know. No, I don't have
No,
regrets. No. You stringing this out or what?
no, just talking to you. What?
Come on, hurry up. You said 20 minutes. How long have we been doing this?
I don't know. I'm not looking, but your scenery there looks lovely.
Thank you. It is nice. And it's roasting outside. I want to get a bit of colour.
All right, mate. I'm in Essex. Did you watch Gavin and Stacey?
Yes.
What did you think?
Very good. I thought it was a little bit slow the first sort of 10 or 15 minutes. And then it just got better and better and better. I mean, genius stuff. Genius stuff. Do you know, I think the one clip from it, which was quite telling, was, when they went out on the hen do,
Yeah,
and it was like a load
yeah,
of girls from Essex, and they were all like taking selfies and like,
yeah.
and then you had the Welsh lot was just like, put your phones down, like, and I was just thinking that is society now, isn't it? Get in the background. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll put a filter on it. Yeah, yeah. Like, Just put your phone down and have a good time. I'm guilty of it, not doing
Yeah, I was
selfies with
gonna say.
filters, but
I
too
was
much time
gonna
on the phone. Or everything's phone related, isn't it? So,
say. Right, two more questions. I'll let you go. How do you see your relationship with Canelo next year?
look, it's just always open. It's always positive. If there's business to be done, we'll do business. I've always said that I think if he was given the choice, I think he would like us to promote him. But also, he's a pure businessman in that respect, and whatever makes sense for him, he's going to do.
So you'll be involved in his next fights in some capacity?
Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. All right, Eddie. Last interview of 2024 with us. So, oh, by the way, look at this present I got from Turkey.
Go on. Oh, what's inside?
Can't tell you.
Oh, send me a message after, yeah? Let me know. That's nice.
I can't reveal what's in this
Did you
box.
get the matchroom one?
No, where's the matching one?
I'll have to check with the office.
Rick.
See if we can.
Do you have a matching gift bag?
I don't know.
This is a
Right, I'm going.
right, Eddie. Give us a message to sign us
Listen,
up.
the message is this. All you can ever do is just keep trying. Get up, show up, dress up, and fuck them up. That is what 2025 is all about. Because you can't listen to them. This world is a shit place at times. I think our country is a shit place at times. But the bottom line is you have to get up every day and give it 110%. Obviously, you have to find something that you have a passion for, but you have to be relentless. You've got to wake up and live every day to the fullest. Right? So 2025, wherever you are, just give it 110%. And wherever you get to will be decided by your consistency, by your luck, and by God. And when I say relentless, I don't know if you're aware, my book is probably now heavily discounted. It might even be down to $2 or $3.99, but it is a great read to get you in the mood for 2025. That's signed. Look at that. IFL what? IFL number one. Oi! I still had a few beers at the time.
One of our prizes. Eddie Hearn, thank you very much for your time abroad.
Don't forget, coming up, Australia, January the 8th,
Yeah,
big fight, Opatara against Naika. January 25th, Dalton Smith and Diego Pacheco, double header at Nottingham and Las Vegas. February, we go into February 15th, huge card, of course, Catterall against Barboza. Don't forget, Next Gen, great Next Gen, Indigo 02, Jan 31st. Catterall Barboza, the best card I've ever seen, Riyadh season, February 22nd. Crocker v Donovan as well, March 1st. We're going to be announcing March the 8th, March 15th, and March 22nd in the next week. Watch this space. Sound's gone. Don't know. I reckon my battery's gone in my earpad, so can't hear you.
Happy New Year, Edward.
Oh, there you go. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, IFL viewers, to everybody out there. Be safe. Much love. See you later, mate.